I think I got into arts ed and drama centre. Two very different vibes.
Two very, very different schools. And just to interrupt before you carry on, my first introduction to any drama school was the BBC documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Of the drama centre.
Was it? Yeah, yeah. It was an extreme drama school, let's put it that way.
Let's talk about it. Drama centre training back then, I'm sure it's probably changed.
Well, is it a thing now? Is it still there? I think it's gone.
Oh, it's gone now, is it?
I think so.
I think you're probably right.
It went to a college. It became part of a college. It was, for me, it was gone. And not to to diss anybody that but for me, because I was a traditionalist, it was Christopher Fettis and Yap Malmgren. They were the two things. The big draws of that place, and
they're quite famous for it, aren't they? I mean, they're so well associated with that school.
Yeah, and it was in Chalk Farm, and then it moved, and they weren't there, and after that, I thought, well, is that drama centre? I don't know. I'm sure they carried on the traditions, and I'm sure it was really good. I'm sure it was a great school. I think it joined St Martin's College or something.
Right.
Anyway, but I after that, I didn't really sort of pay much attention because I was gone and they were gone, and that was that. It was a thing of the past. And also, I didn't really try. I tried not to think about it for too much because it was quite. We used to call it trauma centre, and that's what it was known as.
Yeah.
And it was really, really, really full on. And I would not say that I enjoyed it. It wasn't enjoyable, really. There were moments, but my God, it was. Oh,
was it quite deadly serious training?
Yeah. It was really, really intense, and it just wasn't a holiday camp. It really wasn't. It was. We used to go and do ballet for hours in the morning in like these leotards in this black room. Getting hit with a stick if your foot wasn't high enough, and it was just. It was like above and beyond anything you're ever going to come up against, and there was the sword of Damocles hanging over your head the whole time. And Yat's work, Yat Malmgren, it was like math to me. I just didn't get it. There were diagrams involved, and we would talk about movement psychology, and it was really difficult. And I felt really stupid when I was there because when I arrived, I just felt I realised I wasn't that well read, and so. On top of everything else, of the rehearsals and the plays, and we'd do these like obscure Russian plays, and on top of all that, I would read away from the school. I would start reading Dostoevsky and Dickens, and try and educate myself. So I get like I did at St Anne's. I would do extra curricular stuff to try and catch up, get up, And so that's what I did. I just taught myself. And I will say one thing, it gave me an education, even by default. It was like, okay, I now I'm quite well read. After those 3 years, I'd read loads.
Yeah.
And broke down loads of barriers and thought, actually, that's really good. That's not scary. That's really good. But eventually the movement psychology and the diagrams, they started to make sense when we stood up and did it. And I thought, oh, is that all that is? Is that what that is? All these diagrams and things, that's what that means. And I thought, well, isn't that obvious? I thought that. And then I thought, I'm at the wrong drama school here. I think I might be at the wrong place. But having said that, it was an amazing training. And I think they could have they could have dragged anyone from the street, from anywhere. And if they'd adhered to all these rules and, over 3 years, they would become a competent actor. And I think it was like by numbers, they would knock you down and then they would build you up again. And I didn't like the being knocked down.
No.
Because I'm sure I had something before. And it's kind of like, I don't need to be completely crushed in order to be rebuilt in your image.
In your mould.
Yeah, your mould.
Yeah.
And so I rebelled against it a little bit. And I did try and leave. At one point, I walked out halfway through the second year because people would just get thrown out all the time.
Well, I was going to say, there was loads. It was always the same. You're always scared that you wouldn't make the cut.
Terrified, yeah. And it was quite a fearful place, it was brutal. And but I ducked my way and dived my way underneath everything and somehow got through it. And then thought halfway through the second year, I've got to get out of here. I can't do this. So I
Was it just draining you?
Yeah, it was terrifying. And so at one point I walked out and I auditioned for Blood Brothers in the West End because I was working as an usher there. And I thought, I could do that. I've done musicals. But I went in with my guitar and auditioned for Blood. I think I sang like an Eddie Cochran song and sort of auditioned for it and lied and said I had left college and I'd got an agent, but I'd forgotten the CV. It was just nonsense.
I mean, they're going to fall for that.
For God's sake, yeah. I mean, anyway, I didn't get it. So that was one time. And then I sent off forms to try and audition for RADA again. I thought, I'm going to try it again with RADA.
Right.
And I didn't end up going back. And then another time, and this was the one where this was the last time, I got so sick of it. I walked out of a lesson, I went to the office, said, I'm leaving, that's it, we're done, I'm finished. And I walked out, and I just wandered out into the street. And it's in Chalk Farm, so I walked down to Camden.
Yeah.
And the old Everyman Cinema, where you could smoke in it, and, it was there. It's not there anymore. But weirdly, I thought, I'm just going to go into that cinema, I'm going to watch whatever's on, and I'm just going to sit at the back and think, what have I just done? And what was on was David Thewlis in Naked. And I walked into that cinema, and that was what was showing. I sat at the back, and it blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. And I thought, I'm going back. So I went back about 2.5 hours later, walked up to the office, and I went, I didn't mean it. And I went back and went, okay, you ready? And they were great. They went, go on then, you can go into lessons still going on. And so I walked back in and sat down, and that was it.
They must have had, over the years, other students do that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then just pivot and come back in and go, do you know what I said?
Yeah.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah. And do you know what? Christopher loved me. He was terrifying, but he was an incredible man. And I think he's still alive. He's very old now, but what an incredible man. And so was Yat. But the main guy for me at that place was Reuven Adiv. He was the acting teacher, and he was like Lee Strasberg's assistant, and he used to teach Paul Newman and Marilyn Monroe and regale us with tales of all these massive superstars, back in the day. And he was wonderful.
Wow.
He was just wonderful. And so his classes, they really, really, really changed my life. And I'll always be in debt to him because he was the main guy for me. And Christopher, he was lovely, Christopher, to me. He was, I like I said, I just ducked my way around it. One time he came up to me and he went, you have a tendency to be very lazy, which is unforgivable. But understandable. And he sort of gave me this, I went, what does that mean? I mean, what are you saying there? What are you saying? You're saying that he said, it's fine, you just carry on. And then they gave me the leads and I got an agent and I left and it was fine. So it was all right in the end. But at the beginning, it was really heavy, but yeah, I got through it.
But you do have to go through it.
You just got to go through it, yeah.
What were they like on a whole, with the students, especially in the third year, about, right, you're going out. Go on, you're going out into it now.
Yeah.
Did they prepare you for failure?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what they talked about a lot. It's like, you're probably not going to work. If you're lucky, you might, get a bit part in a touring production of Uncle Vanya or something. But it was all classical theatre training. There was nothing else. I mean, we actually, weirdly, in the second year, we did Merrily We Roll Along, Sondheim musical. Weirdly, so maybe they were trying to prepare you for something else, but I don't remember ever doing any camera training ever.
Not even like half an hour.
No, I don't remember doing
No.
it. We might have done, but I don't remember. I remember we had an actor come in and talk to us about it, but that was it. And when you're a first year, you were the crew for the third year showing. So right. You would just work your arse off all the time. It's like, it's like being the equivalent of a boot boy in a football club. You used to shine their boots and we were the extras if they needed crowds or anything like that. So it was absolutely relentless. But yeah, it was a great training in the end. It was, I'm glad I went, actually.